Okay, so I'm not even going to pretend like I'm having a swell time today. I don't even know where to start from, but I mean, like I've had so much fun with our guests on today's show, and I'm sure everybody's going to be so excited listening to this podcast. And we have a little demo at the end. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm going to run on vibes. I'm literally going to run on vibes today. But you can watch this visually on YouTube, definitely. So today I have with me a sweetheart because she got me gifts, you guys. Oh, I love gifts. I love gifts. So yes, she is. I've had conversations with her prior to now, and she's so sweet, you guys. I'm not even going to lie. She is a 14 years survivor. She's survived breast cancer for the past 14. Wow, like such a long.
Feels like yesterday.
And she's an amazing mom. She has 2 daughters, and she's passionate about speaking to people globally about the cause breast cancer. I don't want to spill the tea yet, but this is a podcast you must listen to. Open your antennas and be listening to this podcast. And don't forget to share. This is the 8th episode, and this is going to be the last episode of the Let's Talk Public Health series. If you've not caught up on the previous episode, you should, because this is the kind of juice you get, sweet chilled juice. So I'm going to be running into the questions that I have prepared for today's podcast. Of course, I did not mention her name. Her name is Juliet. I will save the honors of murdering her surname. Or would you like for me to give it a try?
I'll just tell them.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Juliet Uzoma.
Okay, awesome. Her name is Juliet Aguwa. I think that was not that hard, but anyway, I did not want to spoil it because I used to spoil people's names very plenty. So yeah, you survived breast cancer. I mean, I said it for 14 years. How lucky would you say you were, and how has this experience impacted your life? I'll start with that, but then I want to know more about what age you were diagnosed and what stage of cancer it was.
Okay. Well, I was diagnosed at 34, at age 34. So 14 years, you can figure out. So,
I should pause you there because you don't look it. Like, I can take you for a 25-year-old.
Thank you for the compliment.
I'm not even going to lie. Like, she's.
Now you're trying to get me blushing.
Well,
Black people don't blush.
I was about to say that, but I didn't want to be petty. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, you can go on.
No, I just celebrated my 48th birthday, so I'm lucky. Like, lucky to be alive, lucky to be here. But, I was diagnosed at 34. And my cancer was a stage 3C breast cancer. There are 4 stages of cancer. So I had pretty aggressive cancer. I had a pretty aggressive fighter right there.
I was about to
and
say.
That came hitting hard.
Wow.
So at the time I was diagnosed, my daughters were 3 and 1.
Wow.
I was just done breastfeeding my youngest daughter when I got diagnosed with stage 3C breast cancer.
Oh my. I that must have been very shocking for you.
As a woman, as a human being, first of all, you hear about cancer from a distance.
Of course.
And you pray and say,
oh, no, never me. Like, it's so far, like, you cannot comprehend that.
Exactly. So
cancer exists.
You don't think too much into it. So I think for me, when I got diagnosed, it hit me real hard because, in one day, your whole life just comes to a halt. Because... And of course, as an African woman, like I always say, is a death sentence. When you hear cancer, you just equate that to death. You don't think of survivorship. or anything of that sort.
I mean, you were at
So,
a stage 3C.
yeah, it was pretty aggressive.
Wow.
So it hit me hard because one of the first things I thought about were my kids. You know, what will happen to these girls? They're little, a lot of things. You first of all go through the process of fighting with God, first and foremost, because you have questions like why me, and just all kinds of stuff. So it was quite a struggle for being a young mom with two young ones. How do you deal with this?
Yeah.
Being an African woman, am I going to die? But having gone through that process of self fight, spiritual battle, and all kinds of stuff, having very strong family support was key for me.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I would consider myself lucky because I was in a country where I was privileged to have great medical professionals, facilities that I was put into. So it was a life changer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So would you say the experience was what impacted you today to become, because I see that you speak at so many events globally, like going from one country to the other, like encouraging people, fighting for the cause breast cancer, creating awareness around it.
Mm-hmm.
So would you have done this if you didn't have the experience of breast cancer?
Well, first of all, would I have known what breast cancer was? Would I have known what cancer was? No. My world was completely different.
Do you mind water?
Oh, no, I'm good. Coming from a media world, where I started off as an actress. Of course, you think about beauty, fashion, everything.
Oh, yeah. That's what we all think about.
It all flies. So you never think about breast cancer. You never even think about cancer.
To be honest, it doesn't even look fashionable.
I know, right? So having gone through it, I'm thinking about losing my hair. One of the things that we all hold on to that we in our personal mental state, we think that's beauty. Because you have your hair, you have this, you're beautiful. So having gone through that process, I think cancer opened a new world for me, a new fight for me. Because one, being a mother, I also have to think about my daughters, because this is breast cancer we're talking about. I have to think about my daughters. I have to, raise awareness. I have to affiliate myself with people that know better than I do.
Yeah.
I have to ask questions, how does this work? What is the world for my children who are growing?
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like for them? What have I, indirectly or unknowingly kind of put on them, kind of stuff. So there are a lot of questions. Why did it happen to me at a very young age? Because usually you hear about cancer, you hear it happens to people in their 50s, and I was only 34. So that, I was inquisitive. I wanted to, know more. So it just opened a whole new world for me. And being, having connected with great medical professionals, great people, cancer survivors, those that had, done the work before me, sitting down.
Were there to kind of give you the support that you needed.
They were there.
I feel like it's as they say, I'm happy that you turned the lemons into lemonade.
You can say that.
And I'm so happy to see you here today, and I'm so happy because this was devastating at that point, but now it's a thing of hope.
Of course,
to a lot of people.
To a lot of people, yes, because when having met people who had gone through it before I did, and they gave me hope, they stood by me. I had aunties, not direct aunties, that had gone through breast cancer, they were survivors, and having sat down with them, and they were able to hold my hands and say, hey, we'll get through this together. Then you have medical professionals, oncologists, who are good at what they do, they're specialized in this.
Yeah.
They hold your hands and walk through
And
this journey
with you. So you don't feel lonely one
So
bit.
you don't, because one of the things that I always tell people, in order for you to, this journey is a journey where you need hope.
True.
To start fighting.
But then I also have another question, which is, from everything you said, I've always, or looking at statistics, I see that breast cancer is a serious issue. And even though you've said a lot about how much family and medical professionals where you were at supported you, I would say the issue of cancer is one often overlooked in different spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the factors that influence these things? Would you say culture is one of them?
Of course, being an African woman, there's several factors. There's a cultural stigma.
But first, do you agree with me that is overlooked?
I wouldn't. When you say overlooked, depends on,
Like, we don't talk about it as much.
Yes, we don't talk about it. One, there are different reasons why we do not talk about it. One is shame. Some people think it's a curse. There's a lot surrounding that word cancer. Some people think it's something that you must have done in your past to, have that curse on you.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, I would say due to ignorance and lack of knowledge, we term it to be what we want it to be.
Okay. So now that's something from a societal and a cultural standpoint why we don't talk about it as much.
Mm-hmm.
But would you say that the government, especially here in Nigeria, have supported cancer enough?
I don't think there's never enough.
True. Okay, true.
There's never going to be enough because we want people to do more.
Yeah.
In Africa, there's so much more that can be done.
That can be done. Yeah.
Other than just being diagnosed. In the healthcare facility, there's so much more. There's before and after breast cancer care that, I think our professionals, the healthcare industry, needs to focus on.
So, I want to run through your story a bit more. You said something when we're talking earlier on this podcast about how you were diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
With the current level of care in Africa, would you say it's easy for me to know whether or not I have breast cancer? Because when I get into the hospital, I don't think people run so many checks. Sometimes the doctor just looks at you and is like, you have malaria. So like, what's it like? And so yes, the government can still do more for healthcare, but what would you like to see, let's say, with service delivery that can help?
I think more education can be put out there. Yeah, we do have awareness, but who are we reaching out to?
True.
Do you understand? Because there's a vast majority of people that really need this awareness. You talk about, I love when I come do an awareness, we like to go into the villages. Because this is a place where we don't have the media outlet to kind of teach them. And
True.
People worry about so many other things than to sit down and think about breast cancer or cancer. So these are places that we need to reach out to. You need to teach these women in their languages, however they understand it. Because one of the good things that I have done when I was back in the States was, if I had to deal with people from different dialects, different continents,
how would you
I would
reach
have
them?
An interpreter where, it's easy for me to teach and have them interpret that in their own languages, because it can be done. And I think that, more of this can be done, not just, saying, oh, I'm creating awareness. How much are you creating? Early detection is key.
Yeah.
So if you're able to teach that, simple person out there in the village how to check themselves that way, because, one of the things I tell people is doctors are not God. So we don't automatically think that they know it. You have to be able to tell a doctor how you feel.
so they can
What's
help you
different?
with the
That
best.
way they can help you.
So I think this is where we need to demo our mode.
Okay.
Yes. So
this is the breast model. Okay. One of the things I like to do when I talk about early detection, being able to check yourself, is so that you know what you're looking out for. So if you look at this, this is on the left side of the breast. Okay. So we have the different things that you can look out for. We have the fibrostic mass, which is, I wouldn't consider that cancerous, but a lot of women do have those ducts. Then we have the tumor, which could be benign or cancerous. So there are different ways to feel for this. So if you take 2 fingers, because usually it's advised that you do this 7 days before your menstrual period or after. Okay. And you start by putting your hand over your head.
Yeah.
And just run your hand all through, just check all through in circular motion. So I'm going to use your 2 hands.
Okay.
So let's feel for the fibrostic. So if you rub it down, then you feel how it feels.
Exactly. So why does it have to be? Oh yeah, I think you can feel with the 5 fingers.
Yeah, you can. But 2 makes it a lot easier for you to be able to, because sometimes you don't want to feel other things other than what you're looking out for.
So yes, I can definitely feel this. It feels rough as well.
So if a woman is if you're able to teach women how to look out for this, then they know how to talk to their doctor when they visit their professionals. Then if you go down a little, you can feel the
tumor.
Yeah, the tumor.
Ooh.
Feels weird,
this is not exciting, but
it feels weird, but it is what it is, So this right here, if you come here, you can feel the duct. Right there.
Yes. So what is this? Is this?
So this is, one of many ducts that in the mammary gland that carry the milk and the loops for the breast. So it's easy to just kind of, the different signs that you can present to your medical professionals.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So for this, do I need? I feel like I need a specialized care. Not necessarily.
In order to check yourself?
Yes.
Well, you have to, first of all, check yourself, then meet with your primary healthcare provider who will now recommend you if there's anything that needs more advanced checkup, then they can recommend that.
Yeah. Wow, this is on a whole new level, because I've just, it's different when you hear something, and it's different when you are able to see it, and it's then a different thing when you're even able to know what it feels like. I feel like I can even become a breast examinator now. Like, oh yeah, I can help you check it. This
is what to look out for.
Exactly.
Do you feel any lump? Because sometimes women, we do have lumpy breasts. So, but it's good to actually know what
you're looking for. Yeah. And then, which leads me to my next question. You already clarified it a little bit more, which is, don't fall for this trick. Older women are not the only ones prone to getting cancer, but then are men also at risk? Because whenever we're doing breast cancer awareness, everybody is women talking about it. It's only women that are posting. Everything is pink, and pink is associated with women. Everybody's showing their breast, like, oh, the survivors are coming out. They're all women. So it's, for a long time, it's almost being like, okay, this is a woman thing. And I feel like a lot of men are excluded. So really, are men excluded from breast cancer?
Men do have breast cancer.
Interesting.
Though the rate is a little lower than the women, but there's a niche to that sometimes for men, because they have flat chest walls, it's kind of not detected early.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit more tricky for them. So men do have breast cancer, and it's also important to also teach them how to check and see.
Is it the same pattern?
It's pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
But in their case, they're not as busty as we are.
Yeah.
They're not out there, but they do have breast cancer.
Wow. So men, get yourself checked as well.
Yes.
And women, let's support one another. Let's support, when I say one another, men and women both. This is not a woman only
Yes, I always
disease.
tell the men, let's take the pride down and just, tap into our
True.
feminine side, because sometimes when you talk about breast cancer, a man tells you, why should
Why
I?
should I
Then
check?
exactly, and the pride thing comes in, especially if it's an African man. The pride thing comes in,
I
and so
completely can relate.
so it's always important to, like, sometimes it's good, and for women who have spouses or partners, that men that have breast cancer, or have questionable lumps, support them, be there for them,
True. 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 I'm also curious. Are there lifestyle factors that would say you can point us as inducers? In your own case, was it genetic? What was the cause
There are different
of breast
factors.
cancer?
There are different factors you talk about. I mean, stress is one of them.
Oh, wow.
We talk about tobacco. We talk about drinking, alcohol. You talk about.
I don't want to throw this shade, but like, I don't want to go this route. But drinking is literally one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I will not say anything.
So there are different factors to it, So I think human beings should, keep everything to a minimum, and also be very particular about your choices, especially lifestyle choices in feeding, exercising. We don't do a lot of it,
True.
but that's something
Like,
that
I'm going to throw a shade right at you and everybody in your age bracket. I mean, like, we're all sitting in the living room watching TV. The remote is just it's just 2 steps from me, and then you shout, "Hey, Loretta!" I'm like, "Yes, mommy." So, "Oh, can you pass me the?" I'm like,
that one is a culture thing. It's a seniority culture thing.
I'm like, okay.
I find myself doing it to my daughters.
That's why I said this is gonna be a shade at you and everybody in your age bracket. Ah, gosh. So yes, let's do more exercises. Let's take our lifestyle seriously. One thing I would say a lot of people in this age aren't doing so well is taking care of their health. I get it that you have to work. I get it that there's a lot to do. I get it that we feel like we're young. I mean, like in your case now, you said that stress induced it. So we need to watch out for all those things, because you want to be here for people, not necessarily even your children. Like, you want to be here for people in the next generation. Like,
yeah, we want to be here for ourselves.
Exactly.
And even if you don't have breast cancer or any form of cancer, it's good to be aware so you can help the next person. Because it's all about, whether we like it or not, cancer affects us directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
So the more we know, the better we know how to address it. Better we know how to handle someone who's going through it.
True. Completely agree with that. And would you say did you have trauma post treatment?
Oh yes. Where do I start?
From the beginning.
When I was diagnosed, I was lucky to have been recommended to a teaching hospital. So I went through what they call the commemorate, the trials. I'm more like signed up to be a guinea pig, just so we find the right treatment for people. Because at the time, my mindset was more about death sentence. Okay, I'm gonna die anyway, but let's just find help to help the next person. So I went through the chemo brain. I went through clinical trials. There were times that I had memory loss.
Wow.
In addition to the hair loss. So
Wow.
I remember when I would look at my daughter. Luckily, my mother came all the way from Nigeria to be with me. In the States. So I was looking at my daughter. I knew I recognized, but I couldn't remember. Wow. So that really hit hard.
That must have been so heartbreaking.
And so I remember my mom sitting there and saying, you do, this is Chigozie. This is Chigozie. Do you remember? And that was really, it hit me really hard. And each time I think about it, I just kind of shake my head and say, wow, this is crazy. Because, I went through 6 months of chemo, and chemo is no joke. The first day I had it, when I had the administration of chemo, I just said, people just talk about chemo. It's not that bad. But before I got home, it hit me hard. Like, I was on the floor. He got me that week. A fly could easily come, slap me, and walk away. I would do nothing. So, there were a lot of, I had my nails were darkened.
Your nails?
Yes, my nails were just as dark as that phone. They were really black.
Your natural nails?
Yes. Wow. Because it's chemo. Chemo is designed to kill the cancerous cells, but it also affects other cells in the body. So after going through that, I took a little break, then started radiation. And because my cancer was very aggressive, I had to go through aggressive treatment. So when I went through the radiation, I had to be strapped on the bed with my hands all strapped and my head strapped up so they could administer the radiation, dose onto the affected site. I did that for a few weeks, then I stopped. My oncologist had to stop because it affected my esophagus. I couldn't drink or eat anything. It felt like this brick of block was going down my throat. So they had to stop it for a few weeks and continued again. But I had this whole side of my left breast burnt. Like, it felt like, how you see roasted yam or plantain that dark? It was really roasted. It took a while to heal. And when I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot all those things. But yeah.
Like you were literally just fighting.
I was.
Fighting, and it's inspiring to see, like, it's inspiring to see the aftermath of a fight.
Yes. I smile about it now when I think back to that pain and, the memory loss and all that. All that concerned me were my girls. And you tend to ask questions, why me? But why not you? Who should it be? So for me, I had to make a turnaround on that as to, there's a reason why I went through this journey. That way I can help more people. So it was like a life changer for me, because having a second chance to life, not a lot of people get that.
It. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, like, not a lot of people get it whole.
Yes.
Like, you're here, you can talk, you can remember things, like, you can go from one point to another inspiring people. Like, some people come out as vegetables, like, just unable to do anything again in life. So I feel like this is so much hope, and I would just like to know what advice. I'm just here being inspired, because I'm serious. Like, as you said, before the experience with cancer, you'd probably be thinking about, how can I be an influencer, show off nice clothes, be in style, be in fashion, whatever, which is something that I personally right now, I would say I think about sometimes. Like, I'm always just thinking about, I need to get that dress, I need to get this, I need to do that. I'm not really thinking, and I'm sure some people, if you are listening to this podcast, don't lie to yourself. You too, you have done this. Like, we just forget that there's a world where people are literally suffering, and we become so attached to what's the next big thing that I can get for myself. So on a personal level, you've inspired me to say, you know what?
Thank you.
Stop living for yourself. Just stop for a minute. There's so many things that you can pay attention to. And I'll just say that, what advice can you give to other people? And also, how can we reach you? Support your projects.
Oh, please. To reach me, you just go to Juliet. www.julietuzoma.com. And there you see all the works that I've done over the years. And please do support, because a lot of things I'm very key into the cancer recipients that are going through this, especially coming to Africa. Whenever we do projects here, awareness, I'm always keen to, when we check these ladies, find questionable alarms, what's next? Because that's the struggle we have in Africa. That woman would want to use that 1,000 naira, or to go feed their children or do something better than have to treat cancer. So how do we help that person go get proper checkup
treatment
and know what's next for them? So I always advocate for vouchers, which is what Juliet U project does. When you go to julietuzama.com, I personally offer vouchers to kind of help cut down the cost of mammogram screening. And of course, with great supporters who have really supported, the Juliet U project. There's so many of them that we have worked with in the past, and it's just amazing to see how passionate people are towards other people, paying it forward.
Yeah.
So for people who have never been diagnosed, my advice to them is, when you ever come in contact with someone who's going through breast cancer or any form of cancer, just acknowledge them, because you'd be surprised that just showing that you care
goes a long way
to give that person hope.
So just keep fighting.
Just remember my name. I'm not a statistic. Just remember my name. Goes a long way. For those going through it, or for those that think that they do have something and they're ashamed of it, there's no need to be ashamed of it. It's a disease, and you did not, that you didn't put that on yourself.
Yeah.
It's a dysfunction of the cells, and present early. Early detection is key, because look at me, a stage 3C. I had people who had stage 1, stage 2, and everybody's different. Some people could not live through to be here where I am today, just because, for whatever reasons, maybe their bodies couldn't take the chemo, or whatever reason. But I'm here. So I don't always, I always tell people, it doesn't matter the stage. Fight till you can't fight anymore. And fighting is not, just physically fighting. You have to give it all you can, and that is by having to listen to your medical professionals, the oncologists, who are professionals in what they do. A lot of times in Africa, we tend to equate this to, let me go pray about it.
My village people.
Let me go pray about it. I prayed, my God. There's a reason why we call God. He's in every one of us. So when you see a professional who specializes in what they do, that is the hand of God also working through someone who knows what they do. We're not expecting God to physically come down from heaven, right? So let's key into that. Present early. Even if it's not early, present it to your medical professional so that they can know how to help you. And it's not something that you shy away from. By me sharing my story, I can help someone else who thinks that they're alone. So it's important to speak up, because by speaking up, there's someone out there who can help. There's someone out there who needs that voice to help them get up from that bed and do something about it.
Wow. So this is the end of the podcast. I mean, it's been a whole, I don't even know, it's a whole masterclass, if you ask me.
Yeah, just leave a legacy.
Thank you. This is where it all just comes to. I will never forget your name. I mean, this is amazing. I will never forget all that you shared with me today. I will never forget this demonstration.
You've been amazing.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm blushing.
I really enjoyed talking to you. Seriously.
I'm blushing, you guys. Oh my God, I'm blushing. So thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate you. Thank you for granting us audience. You guys, somebody needs to hear this. You don't know the people in your circle. You don't know all the people that follow you. So you just sharing this, like somebody, as they say, I don't know if you guys have heard that song. I don't want to sing because I have a really terrible voice. But it says, somebody who knows somebody who knows some. So this word is just very connected, right? Sorry, I made you laugh so much. Sorry. Aside from the work I do here at Helium, I am a clown. Like, I literally am a serious clown. So, as I was saying, somebody will know somebody will know somebody will know somebody. Like, you sharing this with someone, you never know. Like, it was recently someone even posted on his status that he was going through depression, and nobody knew. So, with information like this, you can share. Sharing would help.
There's so many factors. This cancer thing links into so many things. People go through depression. People go through all kinds of, trauma going through this. So speaking up, creating an awareness, a network of people who can talk about this, that's awareness enough.
It matters a lot. And please share this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have.
Did.
If you want to see what the breast
model,
because it looks like a mold. So this is the breast model. Oh gosh, it feels like an actual breast. Yeah, I almost feel like I can fake this as your room. Okay, no, scrap that. So like, if you feel this part, actually, it's because she already told me what was there, but like, take 2 fingers and then just press this. You would feel like a lump. That's typically what it will feel like. But that lump is a fibrostic mass. And then when you keep going round and round, when you get here, I can literally feel the tumor. It's like very round.
Yes.
And it's like deep inside. Like you would know this is a lump.
Yeah.
I don't know how many. Exactly. I don't know how many people have, like, they've made pap that has cocoa before. The way that cocoa feels, I'm not even joking. Like, it feels, and it's just like one. It's not like, I'm even trying to press it. It's not pressing. Like, it's not separating. Yeah. That's what I mean by it's not pressing. Like, it's not like you can. My hand can scope it. Yeah. Like, this is it. This is it. So that's a tumor. And then here you have the duct.
The duct.
Yeah, the duct. The duct is like tiny.
Very tiny.
I know this. So like, I would explain the duct to be, when insects like bite you and your skin is just swollen but just small, and then they form one line. I don't know how many of you have gotten bitten by this one nonsense insect.
Soldier ants?
Not even the soldier. Well, yeah, and then just swells up, just tiny. But I have a scar here. I don't know how I got that scar, but like, I don't know. It's just okay. So now that I've felt it, I just really know.
In your mind. So when you go through examining yourself,
exactly, yeah, I know.
I hope it doesn't happen, but
exactly, like, I'm clear. And yes, I'm actually open. I'm taking consultation. If you want to book for a breast lump finder, can call me. I'm just joking. You can do this at home by yourself. Put your hand on your head and then use your second hand
behind your back, your
okay.
neck right here.
Okay.
And you just kind of use your 2 fingers and run around
in
circular motions deep in, so you can feel if there's anything abnormal.
Yeah, nothing. We don't want anything to be abnormal, but like, is prevention, early detection is
key.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I hope you enjoyed this podcast and see you on another series, because this is the last episode. It's been so much fun.
Thank you.
And happy Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no.
This is amazing.
Thank you for honoring us. Glad to have you here.
I was happy to be here.
Thank you.